One thing I want to tell you and assure y'all is that we will not stop till every single person is found. We've got all the resources we need. We're here for the long haul. As I said, numbers will be changing rapidly. But like I said, we will not stop till everybody. I can't tell you. I've been asked how long will this take. I can't tell you how long it's going to take. It's going to take a while.
I can't tell you how long it's going to take, he says. And President Donald Trump announcing that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is going to visit Texas following the catastrophic floods that have killed at least 27 people, as dozens of young girls remain missing at this hour from Camp Mystic there in Central Texas. We're going to welcome to the show Georgia Republican Congressman Richard McCormick, who sits on both the House Armed Services and Foreign Affairs committees. He is also a medical doctor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. Good to be with you. My heart goes out to those Texans who have lost their lives, and especially their children. As an ER doc, there's no way to explain or console that. It's just a horrible thing.
No, and due to your medical background, I'd love to start off with that with you, if you don't mind. The authorities say that 850 people have been rescued so far, and they've stepped up a gear because there's a flood warning in effect and more rain is forecast. What are these victims going through right now? Even those that don't have visible wounds, what are the emotional wounds that these folks are going through?
Well, if you think about it, I remember when Katrina happened, and we had, I was Marine helicopter pilot before I was an ER doc, and when you have all hands on deck, when you have everybody coming to your aid, that's a good thing. That's a healing thing. That's something that, when you realize that it's not a person's fault, it is happenstance, it's horrible. Could it be avoided? Sometimes it's just something that happens, and that's something that people have to come to grips with. There's going to be a lot of guilt. Anybody who's had loved ones die always think, what could they have done? It doesn't matter if they committed suicide or something like this happened from nature. What could I have done? It's not your fault. That's the first thing you got to get your arms around it, is we all do our best. We're a community. There's no politics in this. This is just something horrible that happens that we got to come together and love each other on.
Yeah, but people are searching for answers, and politics always does get tied into it, whether it should be or not, whether it's fresh or not. But this Guadalupe River, where these beautiful girls that we're looking at on our screen were at Camp Mystic, just very close to that river, it rose some 26 feet, 8 meters in just 45 minutes, giving them very little time to react, obviously, and these kids were helpless because how would they know, right? The president wrote this on True Social, on True Social. He said that, quote, the administration is working with local officials on the ground in Texas in response to the tragic flooding that took place yesterday. Our Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, is going to be there shortly. Melania and I are praying for all of the families impacted by this horrible tragedy. Our brave first responders are on site doing what they do best. God bless the families and God bless Texas. But all of this comes as Trump is looking to phase out FEMA. And the National Weather Service is being blamed for not accurately forecasting that flooding that I mentioned there at the Guadalupe River. And critics are pointing to federal budget cuts and staffing cuts there at NWS. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, realize that no matter how good your weather services are, the Weather Service has never gotten it right because it's weather. It's very unpredictable, no matter how many models you have, no matter AI models. But funding cuts don't affect AI models. Funding cuts don't affect the prediction of weather. We have weather services from all over the world that are not affected by anything like this. When you talk about FEMA cuts, realize that last year, half of the emergency FEMA budget was spent on COVID. When is the last time you thought about COVID and what its impact was for emergency funds? They're righteous things to do to affect our budgets that don't affect this sort of thing. And we need not politicize this, or we will never solve the problems of the United States.
So you're confident that had there not been staffing cuts and budget cuts, it wouldn't have made a difference here, you don't think?
There's no way that staffing cuts or budget cuts affected the weather, the prediction of the weather, or the response to this.
Okay. Let's move on to this. The One Big Beautiful Bill signed, sealed, and delivered on July the 4th yesterday. And Donald Trump, he wanted to do this by the self-imposed deadline. It was a big day for him to push his agenda forward for your party. Let's take a listen to the president.
I've never seen people so happy in our country because of that, because so many different groups of people are being taken care of, the military and civilians of all types, jobs of all types. We're adding things like the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, child tax credits. So many things are being added.
It's about 1,000 pages, so it's hard for everybody at home to know what's inside. So we're going to give our viewers a little snapshot. If we can go ahead and put that full screen up. Here's what's included. It's extending these tax cuts, no tax on tips, the child tax credit the president mentioned, and more investment in defense and immigration enforcement. One part of the bill that's getting a lot of pushback is the impact on health care. According to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, nearly 12 million Americans will lose their health insurance by 2034. And the American Hospital Association is saying that the reductions will negatively impact access for all Americans. Congressman, we've even seen a member of your party, Senator Tom Tillis, sounding the alarm on this and effectively walking away from his job because of it. 12 million Americans seems like a big number. You're a doctor. What would you tell your patients?
Well, first of all, I realize we have the biggest plus up for hospitals of $50 billion written into this bill. We also have about 18 million Americans that choose not to work, that are capable of age, don't have children under the age of 7, but choose not to even look for a job. I don't think that most of America, most of us working Americans, because I think what's the unemployment rate, around 4%? So 96% of us that are able to work, that are looking for work, that are doing what we're supposed to do in life. By the way, that's a very good thing. As an ER doc, I'm going to tell you, of all the patients I see, about a third of them have depression, anxiety, suicidality, drug and alcohol abuse. Those people are looking for something to do in life. They're looking for their own value. That's not created by sitting at home, not looking for a job, not doing volunteer action, not working. This does not require that you have a job. This requires that you spend a minimal amount of time actually looking for a job or doing volunteer working or working 20 hours a week. I think most Americans who are paying taxes and getting health care would agree that that's a good thing. It doesn't take away any health care benefits for people doing those things. I think that's a reasonable request. When you go get unemployment, which you paid into, you're required for those same requirements. Yeah. This is not an outrageous expenditure. This is not an outrageous request. When we face down a $37 trillion debt, which we pay $1 trillion of interest on, which is about to go up again, we have to do something to break out this mentality that it's okay to sit at home and not even look for a job. This should stimulate job growth. This should provide you a job to go work and have value. Have something you can hang your hat. That doesn't mean you lose your Medicaid. Yeah. By the way, when you go back to work, if you're not making enough money, guess what? You're still on Medicaid.
Congressman, I agree that I think we'd be hard-pressed to find an American who's working hard and paying their taxes to be happy for somebody to just be sitting at home and mooching off the system and getting benefits while they are working. I agree with you, but the concern is that it's not just these people. It's not just the bloat and the waste, fraud, and the abuse. It's the mom at home with a disabled child or something who may slip through the cracks because of the extra hoops that they may potentially have to jump through.
I'm glad you brought that up. This is the big lie. This is where they politicize it and actually go outside the parameters that are very clear. I challenge anybody, including a reporter, to find me where somebody who is staying at home with a disabled child is going to lose their benefits. That is absolutely a lie.
Well, I hope you're exactly right. I hope you're exactly right.
I'm telling you, this is scare tactics. They've literally said people are going to die. That's not true. I'm an emergency medicine physician. You can go to the ER any day. It doesn't matter if you're illegal. It doesn't matter if you're destitute. It doesn't matter if you even have ID. And I'm going to give you first-class treatment. I'm not going to worry about if you're going to pay me or not. That is the law, and that is what we do, I promise you.
Yeah, well, it has definitely been a messaging war between Republicans and Democrats because the Democrats are very united on this. So even though this big, beautiful bill has now been signed into a law, your party is definitely going to continue having to sell it to the American people as things go into effect. And that's part of what you're doing today. We appreciate you being here. Georgia Republican Congressman Richard McCormick, I hope you have a great 4th of July weekend. Thank you.
As you and Semper Fidelis. Thank you.